Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome inside Scott Trade Center. A big game tonight. Monday night hockey here in St. Louis. Chris Kerber along with Darren Robert Pang. Can we tell everybody that sometimes we call you Joe?
Absolutely.
Do the fans know the story?
No.
Let's start with a great Monday story here. This is one of my favorites. Why do sometimes we call you Joe? How did you get the nickname Joe?
Mom and Dad weren't convinced about a name for a little while, and so they called me Joe. And if I called home and my mom that's passed now, she'd always say, "Hey Joe," and then call my dad, "Hey Joe," my uncle, "Hey Joe," my sister, "Hey Joe." Everybody calls me Joe, and of the family. So, and then Darren came along, and you remember that actor Darren Gavin or Darren McGavin? It was a long time ago or whatever. Anyway, so they liked that name. They saw it scroll down there, and
so they did put Darren on the old birth certificate.
They did,
yeah. Okay, they did. But every now and then, I think that's pretty awesome.
Joe Pang.
Joe Pang. All right, here with Darren Robert Pang, actually. Big game tonight. The Blues against the Washington Capitals. Final week of the regular season opens up here tonight. Now, it's a big one here. The Colorado Avalanche found a way to get to overtime. Actually gave up 2 goals in the third period, and we're kind of lucky at that point. So they get to overtime, and they end up 1 point ahead of the Blues. So the Blues enter the final week 1 point out of a playoff spot, still very much in control of their own destiny because they have 4 games to go, and that's more than anybody else that they're battling with. But this is a huge test tonight. The Washington Capitals are playing their second game in as many days. They come off a big win on the road in Pittsburgh yesterday that clinched the Central Division. But Panger, this might blow some people's minds here. St. Louis Blues, Washington Capitals, 4 wins. Their record is only separated by 4 wins. But the Blues have to come out and find a way to close that gap tonight.
This is going to be a really, really big test. And the Blues always come out with their best efforts, knowing that they're facing a championship caliber team, knowing they're facing players that are elite players like Backstrom and like Ovechkin, as 2 examples. The letdown was against Arizona, but I can tell you that there are many top teams went up against Arizona, have been and have shaken their head and looked around and said, "What just happened?" Well, Arizona's playing some good hockey, and sometimes you just don't prepare yourself the same way, and you think during the game that you can come back no matter what's going on. I felt that at ice level in Arizona, Curbs. I felt like even though it was 1-0 early on and the execution wasn't great, the bench still you had that feeling of, oh, we'll be okay. And then they got punched in the nose. And then you can't come back because all of a sudden Antti Ranta decides he's going to put on a real exhibition. So in saying that, our goaltender is going to have to be very, very sharp for tonight's game.
Yeah, it looks like the Blues will go back to Jake Allen tonight again. And he got a little bit of a rest after Carter Hutton came in to that last game there in Arizona. So Jake does get the start here. Scotty Upshaw, he's out for the foreseeable future now because of that difficult injury. He took that big hit, so the Blues are going to have to they'll lose that veteran presence, go back to maybe Tage Thompson getting back into that lineup here. But this is the group, Darren, that has only lost 1 time in regulation here in their last 8 games.
And that fourth line was playing very, very well. I mean, trying to make up for a guy like Upshaw isn't that easy, and people might not understand the variables that he brings to the table, but he's highly energetic, a great penalty killer. But when you need to change a little momentum with a big hit, which he was trying to do on that play, unfortunately, he ran into a Peterbilt truck right there. Yeah. And that's 238 pounds or so of Luke Shen. But they were going well with Barbashev there in Sundqvist and Thorburn playing some very, very good hockey. In fact, he backed him up with a pretty good scrap there that I thought was turning the table there in that game in Arizona. And then Thompson moves up to that third line there with Sobotka and with Dmitry Yashkin. So going to be imperative for the Blues to get it from all 4 lines. I don't think this is going to be a one-line hockey game. I think it's going to be all 4 lines, and they're going to need that secondary scoring to be chipped in whenever they get a chance in this game tonight.
We talk about the way this hockey team has been playing, and one of the phrases and one of the catch terms, puck management, smart with the puck. When you're playing the Washington Capitals, what is the key to puck management?
Well, number one, there's an old phrase that we use that you can eat the puck. It's okay to be on the boards and you don't have a play and eat it in your feet or and then wait for a little bit of support. Your second man in. The Blues really rely on a second man up quick. And if that second man isn't supporting and kind of being lackadaisical or milling about a little bit slower, well, then the play can be broken up and you can be in a bad situation. The blind backhand pass up the middle of the ice, it's probably not going to work, in this kind of game. You have to eliminate odd man breaks because they are, whether it's Kuznetsov or whether it's Backstrom or TJ Oshie's playing some great hockey right now, his best hockey of the season, or obviously Alex Ovechkin, you can only play with fire so long. So just managing it, playing kind of a a rope-a-dope style of game more than a wide-open, heel-to-toe saucer pass. We're going to make this brilliant play through legs and sticks and bodies. That's probably not going to work.
And once again, discipline becomes another very big key to tonight because you know where that pass is going to go and the Capitals have the power play, and sometimes it just doesn't matter.
Apparently, it goes over to number 8.
Yep.
Apparently, he's got a good shot and just playing over 1,000 games and 600 goals and over 1,000 points. Besides that, it hasn't been a very good good career for Alex Ovechkin. I'm looking at you look at individual things, and I know that he's iconic as far as Russians are concerned and revered. So I'm looking at a guy, certainly like Tarasenko and saying this would be a good game to put on a show in this game and absolutely empty the tank and going up against a legend like Ovechkin and make sure he knows what you're all about as well.
And speaking of emptying the tank, that's what this week is all about here. It has to be work ethic. It has to be lunch pail style.
Yep.
That's how this team has succeeded. Your best players still have to be your best players. They're going to have to be impactful in this game. And sometimes it's not always scoring the goal, but it is making the plays. It is that effort getting back. It is that effort to eat the puck if you have to. It has to be your top guys getting it done this week.
Well, it does. When the Blues have had great success, they've defended well in a kind of a hybrid swarm. They've been disciplined in that area. And then our defensemen have carried the mail. I really thought going into the game on back-to-back nights, it was a heavy game against Vegas where they're good, stick on puck and strong on their feet. And every battle that was won or lost by the Blues defensemen, it took a lot out of them. Then you turn around not even 24 hours later, and I thought they were a little tired. And it obviously showed with Edmondson and Pietrangelo. They both ended up being a -4 at even strength. That's not like them. These guys are two great warriors on the ice, but they're going to need the extra legs from the defensemen in this game to make sure that they're getting the puck out of the zone as quickly as possible.
All right, this is Fan Appreciation Week, and so there's a lot going on. We want you to log on to stlouisblues.com for all the details. Tonight, jersey off the backs. Raffle tickets will be sold, donating the money to Blues for Kids, and there will be winners selected to get the jersey off the players' backs after this game. Fans are going to get a pull tab card, which has different prizes from concessions to merchandise deals to prizes from sponsors as well. That's happening tonight. Over the course of this week, a whole series of events. We're going to be in schools. Actually, I'll be at a school tomorrow doing a school program with Louie.
I should probably go back to school.
No. Don't worry about that. We'll teach you what you need to know. All right. So,
if they're taller than me, what are the grades?
Listen, we do. It's going to be kindergarten through 6.
Oh, I don't.
We've got a couple second graders that might be eye level with you now.
Probably.
It's how they eat. It's the steroids in the milk. It just grows them a lot bigger there. But a whole bunch of fun coming up this week. And by the way, a watch party at the end of the week as well at the St. Louis Science Center. You imagine Blues hockey on the IMAX? Check it out. Go to stlouisblues.com for all the details. And then don't forget, later on this week, the Blues host the Chicago Blackhawks on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And that's a big night where we're going to do some fundraising and help Chris Thorburn raise some money for the school where his son Bennett is at. His son is autistic. And, of course, you can catch that story on stlouisblues.com
It's a great
as well.
story. Make sure you click on that.
Yeah, and read all the different ways that you can help. So we're going to help Chris Thorburn raise some money on Wednesday night when the Blues play the Blackhawks. But first, opportunity for St. Louis to climb right back into a playoff spot with a huge game tonight against the Washington Capitals. That's a 7 o'clock face-off, 6:30 pregame with Darren Pang and company on Fox Sports Midwest, 6:30 pregame on the radio side on KMOX as well. Have a great Monday. It's a hockey day. Wear your blue, and we'll see you tonight.